Face in this trashy bar. Another glass and I am going places. Makes me laugh about the irony of everything. I like the way you're thinking. I don't really care about the music on the dance floor. I don't really mind all the smokers in the bathroom. I don't care at all, baby. You got my attention. So you were saying, oh no, I don't see the logic of things. It's quite a lonely world that we're living in. Oh baby, you are something special, I'm sure. Everything makes total sense when you're next to me. When I go, I am all about adventure times. Another drink and I'll go anywhere. The way you smell, like a flash in the universe. You are illuminating. I don't really care about the people in the bar line. I don't really mind all the hookahs doing stage dives. I don't care at all, baby. You got my attention. So you were saying, I don't see the logic of things. It's quite a lonely world that we're living in. Oh baby, you are something special, I'm sure. Everything makes total sense when you're next to me. Even if I told you I could never let you go, I'm not so sure you believe me. But if I mean to show you, I will never let you go. No, 'cause you don't see the logic of things. It's quite a lonely world that we're living in. Oh baby, you are something special, I'm sure. Everything makes total sense when you're next to me. Wanna shake the ground, wanna break away, let loose. I'm tired of waiting, gotta make that move. All the neon signs, now they shout to me and you to write our story. Wanna shape that new. Do you wanna come along with me? Come along with me. Do you wanna? And we ain't got nothing, gotta do something, get it right. Gonna keep on running, grab the fun and live it light. And tomorrow's far away, should I let the party fade? And we ain't got nothing, gotta do something, let us all tonight. Got a restless mind, and now I won't let go. So let us be crazy before we're cold. You can take us out, your doubts won't hold us down.
Hey, from the moment of my open eye, been looking for a guided light to lead me on my way. Yeah, lost, struggling to make the top. A slipping grip can't hold me up. It's the game of life we play. When everything comes crashing down, behind your door when I hear the sound, you say the word and I'll stay the night. You wouldn't text if you moved on. You wouldn't kick me in your phone unless you know that you were wrong. Now, from this moment rolling up, a speeding drink can't hold it up. You and I, we lost our way. You cheated, lied, and ran away, and I got stuck with a knife in me. And this pain won't go away, but still. When everything comes crashing down, behind your door when I hear the sound, you say the word and I'll stay the night. You wouldn't text if you moved on. You wouldn't kick me in your phone unless you know that you were wrong. But I hold on, but I hold on. Out of the frame, don't hold your breath. I'm used to the pain, but baby, don't forget. It's all fun and game until the final step. That's when you overstep. You know that I'm weak, you exploit that, yeah. I'm down on my knees when you place your bet. Keep telling myself it's the last of it, but I hold on. When everything comes crashing down, behind your door when I hear the sound, you say the word and I'll stay the night. You wouldn't text if you moved on. You
Happy Monday if you are catching us live, which so many of you are, so I'm so glad you're here. My name is Amy Porterfield if you've never been on a live before with me, and I help entrepreneurs take their knowledge, know-how, and skill set and turn that into a profitable digital course that they can launch over and over and over again. And today's topic is so perfect for what I teach in terms of courses because I'm going to talk about creating more freedom in your life. Now, freedom can mean whatever it does to you. Basically, this is your choice. But for me, it means time freedom, getting my time back, making more money while doing less, working from wherever I want to work from, things that most of us entrepreneurs are striving for. But more importantly, I want you to be doing the things that you do best in your business and not bogging yourself down with too many spinning plates in the air so that you can never catch a break. Does it sometimes feel like that? Like, I'm working so hard on my business and I can never catch a break? Well, today I'm going to help you catch that break with one secret that I have used over and over and over again. It's like the foundation of how I've grown my multi-million-dollar business online. If you don't know me, then you might not know I was once a corporate girl and I thought I would be in corporate forever. But 12 years ago, I ventured out on my own to become my own boss, start my own business. And this one secret I'm going to teach you today will help you definitely not only create more freedom, but get more focused on what matters most in your business. So I'm going to get right to it, but I've got to tell you two things. Number one, first of all, thank you all for being here. I'm so excited you're here. But number one, I have Amazon gift cards. I always do $25 Amazon gift cards just to keep things a little fun. And I randomly select people in the comments. So if you're active in the comments, you have more chances to win. I'll look down, I'll see something I like, and boom, I'll just say you're an Amazon winner. And all you need to do is email support@amyporterfield.com. support@amyporterfield.com. Let them know you won on today's live, and my team will hook you up with the 25 Amazon gift card. It's just a little fun thing we do. Also, I was going to tell you that actually everyone's coming through. I see everyone's names and pictures, so I don't think I need to say the next thing I was going to say. It would just confuse people. So we're just going to keep moving on. All right, so let's just make sure. Yeah, I had a feeling that was going to happen. Hold on. I'm cool. I know how to fix this. I know how to fix it. Let's see here. Well, I say I know how to fix it, but let's see. I know sometimes when my slide doesn't show up as needed, I got to take this out. Just a little technical challenge. Hold on a second. Everyone cross their fingers. Oh, why is that doing that? I don't know. Okay, so Brittany, I'm unplugging my computer and for some reason my slide deck's not showing up. And so I don't know what that's about, but I got to get it going. So if you could maybe see what I should do and you let me know, but I'm going to start anyway. Okay, so the whole point of my secret is to give you an opportunity to focus on the things in your business that will not only make you the most money, but actually give you the opportunity to focus on the things you absolutely love. So that you don't have to take notes throughout this entire training, go right now, everyone really quick, go to amyporterfield.com/workbook2, like the number 2, amyporterfield.com/workbook2. Everything that I'm going to teach you, I've put into a workbook, super easy to download right away so that you can remember this even when it's like a week down the road and you're like, what did Amy say about that secret that she had that I know if I apply to my business, I can make more money while doing less? Well, it's going to be in the workbook. Totally free. I designed it to match what I'm going to teach you here. So one more time, amyporterfield.com/workbook2. Okay, so the big secret is this idea of changing my business model. When I first got into business, I was juggling so many different projects, different digital courses. I did one-on-one coaching. I did consulting for some people. I did audits of other people's social media. That's when I started. I was doing a lot of social media. And I was stretched so thin that I'm like, what is this entrepreneurial life? Because it's not for me. And then I realized a secret that helped me immensely, and I've lived by it. And that is taking my business model horizontal versus rushing to take it vertical. So taking it horizontal versus rushing to take it vertical. And here's what I mean. When you have a vertical business model, that means that you're always adding new courses and you're adding new projects and you're taking on new clients and you're looking for ways to make money. I can make money here and there and this way and that way. Instead of focusing more on keeping your business horizontal, which means you create one thing. Now, I'm going to encourage you to create a digital course, but hold on, we don't even need to go there. You create one thing in your business that's your signature offer, and you offer it over and over and over again. And you get really good at what you're offering, how you sell it, how you teach. And that one thing, let's say through a few different launches each year, that one thing you keep selling over and over again. And this idea of, instead of going vertical, adding more to your plate, but getting really good at one signature offer, it literally is my secret for building a multi-million-dollar business. So before I go any longer, now that you know the concept, let me know in the comments. Let me know right now. And Brittany, I don't see anything from you yet, so let me know if you're kind of working on how to get my slides up. But that's okay. We could still keep going. Let me know in the comments if you ever struggle with going vertical, meaning you either, if you're so courageous, you're a squirrel, admit that you're a squirrel. If you're so courageous that you see the next thing, you're like, I want to do that. And then you're like, I want to do that. You're really good at starting, but maybe not getting to the finish line with all the projects. If that's you, there's no judgment here. This is a judgment-free zone. So say yes, that is me. That is me. I want to know in the comments. And I'm going to choose an Amazon winner right away. So if that's you, say, yep, that is me. Let me know. Okay, Donna, you get an Amazon gift card. You were the first one that I saw. So email support@amyporterfield.com. Let them know you won. But Donna's so courageous to say, yes, I'm a squirrel. I can't get focused. So a lot of squirrels, and that's a fun little, I love that we're just going to joke around and say, yes, there's some squirrels here. My husband's a squirrel, so I get it. I love him dearly. But the squirrels tend to go vertical really, really quickly versus staying horizontal and keep doing the same thing, but getting better and better and better at it. Okay, so if you tend to want to keep adding to the mix, but then feel like you're pulled in a million directions, then we need to think about taking that business model and turning it on its side, turning it vertical. Because here's all the reasons why you don't want to always think in terms of a vertical business model. This is so important. This is literally life-changing for your business. Really quick, just so you know, Brittany, my eCam's not black, or eCam comes up as black, but my slides are showing just fine on my laptop. So please let me know in the comments. It's not, it might be the camera source you're saying. Let's try this really fast, guys, because I want you to be able, if I can show you. So when I do that, let's see here. She's saying, you need to hover over the black box. There should be a pencil icon and you can change the camera source. All right, let's see if we can do that. I have no idea if this is going to work. Well, that's not going to work. So hold on. Let me do another one. Hold on. That's me, so that's not going to work. And then all the guests. So let me do this real fast and then plug it back in. Yeah, for some reason, I just can't get my slides to come up. That's okay. I know this stuff like the back of my hand because this is what I do in my business. Okay, so when you go vertical, the first thing you need to know is that you're leaving money on the table. You're leaving so much money on the table because you're never getting really good at one thing. And when you don't get good at one thing, well, then let me tell you, my friends, you start to struggle. If you're struggling to make money in your business, then I can promise you it's likely that you're not like zoning in on that one thing that you do really, really well. Also, you're never going to see the full potential of what you've created. The first time I created a digital course and launched it, it was good. But the second time I launched it, it was really good. The third time I launched it, my marketing was dialed in. The way I taught it, I was just like in the zone. That doesn't happen unless you do iterations of the offer you already have. So you'll never, ever see the full potential of what you've put together if you don't launch it multiple times. Another thing is that you're cutting off your creativity and your growth. Because if you go from this thing to that thing to that thing, I'm going to create this, I'm going to create that. You never get to be fully creative around one idea. And that's where the magic happens. Another few things about going vertical before you actually stay in that one zone longer is that you're doing a disservice to your customers. I can guarantee that some of you who are struggling to make money online, your customers are very confused as to what you're offering or what they should buy. Should I do this or should I do that? Or should I do this and do that? Like they're not sure what they should be doing. And so when it comes to really understanding the offer that you've put together, you need to give your customers one path to say, this is for you. It changes everything. Okay, so I've got another question for you. For all of you who are here, and I know you've got some great questions, I'll do a Q&A at the end. So if you've got questions, post them right now. My team is collecting them and I'll answer your questions about going vertical versus horizontal. But for those of you who are here right now, tell me this. Do you feel overwhelmed or overworked? Like give me a yes in the comments. If in the business you're creating now, do you ever feel overwhelmed or overworked? So that's my question. And there's a small delay, so I'll give you a little second to figure that out. But the reason I ask is that a lot of the times, most entrepreneurs get a bit restless and want to go vertical more quickly than they should, which contributes to the overwhelm. So Shelly, you get an Amazon gift card. Shelly says, yes, yes, yes. Yes, 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 I feel overwhelmed in my business. Well, and many of you are saying yes. Donna says, overwhelmed and overworked. Yeah, I get it. I love it. Eric said the same thing, overwhelmed and overworked both. Okay, I promise you, if you look at what you're doing, you're likely not staying horizontal long enough because we get restless. Or here's the truth. We try something, it doesn't work, and then we jump to the next thing. Who here has been guilty of that? You launch something and you're like, Amy, that didn't even work at all. And so then you just go on to the next thing. You start creating something new because it's exciting and change is good. But that one thing you created could have been so good. I actually have, stay with me, I have the perfect example of one of my students to share with you what it looked like when she stayed with something over and over again. Okay, so if you go horizontal, that means that you focus on one core program, one core product, one core service. If you stick with me, I'll teach you how to create one core digital course. So that's something, if you keep joining me on these Facebook Lives, I'll get there. I'll start talking about creating a digital course and what that could look like in your business. But someone said like, well, how do you know what that core program is? How do you know what to create? And typically, I want you to look at where you've gotten results for yourself or for your clients, and where have you gotten the biggest results? Where have you seen the best success? You want to double down on something you're already doing well. Even if you're doing good and you want to do exceptionally good, that's where you should focus. So start thinking in terms of where is it already working in your business, even just a little glimmer of possibility there. That's where you want to focus. And you then, let's say you figure out, okay, I want to create a digital course all about how to train your dog. Let's just pretend you're a dog trainer. So let's say you focus like, I'm going to create a digital course all about how to train dogs, and I'm going to specifically focus on anxious dogs. So I'm going to get really laser focused. What happens when you decide to create a digital course and launch it over and over and over again, you start to then make decisions in your business based on who you serve and how you serve them. So if an opportunity comes my way, and I can then ask myself, okay, is this going to support the students that I serve in my course? And is it going to enhance or detract from what I'm already working on? I'm not saying that you only ever have one thing you offer in your business, but one thing should be your bread and butter. One thing, if I ask you, what's the number one thing that makes you money and you focus most of your time on it? Boom, I want you to have an answer. Who here could tell me that right now? What's the number one thing you focus on in your business the most and which makes you the most money and you love working on it? Who can tell me in the comments, do you have something like that? And the majority, just to make you all feel better, if you're like, Amy, I can't tell you that. The majority of people can't, especially if you're just in the first few years of getting your business going. It's hard to identify that because everything is kind of getting a little piece of you. And so I love what Diane says. She says, my focus, let's see here. Where did she go? My focus is spiritual direction for women 35 years or older. So she knows exactly who she serves. And let's see here. There's a few of you. So Belinda says, yes, team building, ebooks, websites, writing content. Okay, good. So you know that area of your expertise. Now I want you to start thinking of, are you packaging it in a way that will allow you to laser focus on this one offer, packaging it into an offer that you can launch over and over again, whether you're doing live launches like I do, or maybe you put something on evergreen, make it automatic so it sells all the time. But what I love is like once a quarter, you promote this one signature offer. And if you don't offer it all the time, there's more scarcity and urgency, so more people pay attention. So I think this is so important if you feel like your business isn't making enough money, if it feels hard, if it feels complicated, if you're not sure what to do in your business or where to focus. My question for you is this: what would it look like to have one thing in your business that you're focused on? One thing in your business that you are focused on. And for when I say that to many of you, you're like, yes, I want that one thing. This is exactly what I want. So I've got to solidify that for you. I've got 3 reasons to consider reworking your business model from going vertical, always adding new things, to actually staying horizontal. Okay, so are you ready? This is so good. So 3 reasons, I'll reiterate that, to consider reworking your business model to be more horizontal instead of vertical. Reason number 1, someone write this in the comments so everyone can see it if they need to take notes. But remember, if you go to amyporterfield.com/workbook2, amyporterfield.com/workbook2, for those of you who joined us a little bit late, I have a workbook where you don't even have to take notes. Everything I'm teaching you, I already put in the workbook for you. So the number 1 reason is you'd like to see stronger sales. If you feel as though you put an offer out there and it's like, okay, it does pretty well, and then you move on to the next thing, you're leaving so much money on the table, because you can see stronger sales if you launch the same thing over and over and over again. So one of the things, I have an image of this that you can't see, but it doesn't really matter. I can just tell you, the first time I launched a successful digital course, I had many failed stops or failed attempts along the way. But when I launched my very first profitable, successful digital course, I made $30,000 in one launch. $30,000. I thought I was the richest woman on the planet. It was such an amazing experience. And instead of moving on to the next shiny thing that I wanted to create, I thought, what if I launched this again, but I got better at my webinars to sell it? What would happen then? So I launched it a few months later, and I made $118,000 with the same course, just better marketing, because I was more experienced with webinars this second time out. And then the third time I launched it, I updated the course and the marketing, and I made $283,000 on the third launch of the same course. And about a year later, from the first time I ever launched it, I launched it for the 4th time. And I made $950,000 with the same course. The reason I was able to have that massive jump is that all along my email list started to grow, because when you launch more, your email list organically grows. I became better at marketing. I became better at live video. I became better at talking about my product because I was talking about it so much, launch after launch after launch. And I was honing in on the right audience. It's hard to find your audience when you keep flip-flopping different offers, right? So I was able to really focus on the right audience. So that's my story, but I actually have another story that I want to tell you. One of my students, her name is Joy Foster. She's amazing. She teaches women with a fear of tech how to dominate social media and overcome feeling like an imposter so that they can start earning money. So that's what she does. And so she focuses on women. This was her third business. She created digital courses. That was her third business, but the others weren't really scalable. She was doing one-on-one work. How many of you, give me a yes in the comments right now, how many of you are doing one-on-one work? Whether you're a service-based business, a coach, or a consultant, I want to know, out of all of you who are here, give me a yes in the comments if you do one-on-one type of work. Because I'm so curious if we have a lot of you in here. Yes. Okay. So Diane says yes, she's doing it. Rochelle, okay. Or Rachel, I think it's Rochelle. Mindy, Bree. Okay, lots of one-on-one work. Great. Belinda, Ellen, I see you all. All right. So one of the things that if you do a lot of one-on-one work, you know that you've reached a cap, right? There's only one of you. You can only take so many clients. So a lot of my students who do coaching or consulting, they come to me to learn how to create a digital course so that some of them want to still do the one-on-one work. Some of them want to ditch it altogether, but some of them want to continue to do it, but do a lot less of it and charge more premium prices and then make the rest of their money on digital courses. And so I totally get that. But back to Joy, this is her third business she created because the others weren't scalable. And she used to be teaching women face-to-face how to get over the struggle of making ends meet and start to embrace social media and tech. She was doing it face-to-face, can't really grow that beyond a certain amount. So when she originally started working with me, she had 6 online courses, 6 of them. So this is so important. And then she started to listen to how I teach business. And she said, you know what? I'm going to go all in with one digital course. And that's when she started to see the growth in her business. So she launched and she launched again, and she had tenacity. Her first few launches weren't as good as the few that came after. So on her 4th launch, launching the same product, she saw a 20% return on profit, meaning that it started to really grow. Now, when I ask her, well, what happened with launch number 1, 2, and 3? And she's like, Amy, I was all over the place. I really wasn't dialed in like I knew I should be. I started to take this really seriously. By the 4th launch, I realized, oh, I've seen all the mistakes I can make. Now I know. So I'd like you all to skip those mistakes and have success on your first launch. But by her 4th launch, she finally got it. And then she made some tweaks, and on her 5th launch, she generated $56,000. Now, if she would have jumped ship, if she would have been like, I launched, this did not work, no fun. So if she's like, this isn't any fun, I want to do something else, she wouldn't have made $56,000. For some people, that is an entire year of their salary. And she made it in one launch. Then on her 6th launch, she doubled from her 5th launch and made $136,000. $136,000. So in April of this year, she has done 4 6-figure launches by now. So now into her 7th, 8th, 9th launch, they all started to become 6-figure launches. She has just made $1 million total with one digital course. In her entire business, 95% of her revenue comes from this one digital course that has made her over $1 million. Over $1 million. So Joy is a member of my Digital Course Academy, where I teach her how to create this course and have success with her launches and launch the same thing over and over again, but just get better. And so I'll start talking about Digital Course Academy a little bit later when the doors open up in September. But I just want to plant a seed here that this is possible. I could tell you my success story all day long, but if I share those of students that never thought it was possible for them either, and they've had success like that, that's the stuff that I hope really energizes you. Okay, so the second reason why I want you to consider to move your business model is that If you always think that you need to change gears all the time, like give me a yes in the comments if you feel like you need to change gears all the time, like something just is not working and you go from this gear to that gear to that gear. Give me a yes in the comments. I know it's kind of hard to be honest about like, yeah, I know I shouldn't change gears, but it is something that I do more often than not. It's very similar to the chasing a squirrel, but changing gears is about, okay, this isn't working, so I need to change. Sherry, you win an Amazon gift card. You were the first one I saw jump in here saying just yes. She just said yes. I just encourage you guys to participate in the comments. That's why I give Amazon gift cards away. So Sherry, email support@amyporterfield.com. Let them know you won. But I think changing gears is very normal when something doesn't work out. But if you take the time to troubleshoot before you jump ship, you could have, like Joy, a $56,000 launch that led to six figures and more six figures into $1 million product. That is possible when you don't jump ship and instead take the time to troubleshoot. And here's a little secret. You become such a resilient entrepreneur when you are willing to troubleshoot a launch that didn't go as planned, when you're really willing to troubleshoot why something's not selling. You become so much stronger as an entrepreneur when you troubleshoot instead of jump ship and change to something else. I do believe that's why I feel like I can do anything in my business, because I've gone through all the challenges, or probably not all, I'm sure more to come, but I'm not afraid to say, ooh, that didn't work. Now let's look at why it didn't and let's fix it instead of jumping ship. Okay, and the third reason is you think you won't make money only selling one thing, so you split your attention between multiple offers. You might be thinking, but Amy, I'm never going to make enough money selling just one thing if I go all in. And I want to challenge that thinking. Because here's the thing. Imagine if you gave your full attention to one major thing in your business, your full attention. Imagine how good your webinars would be. I've done hundreds and hundreds of webinars. I wasn't good in the beginning. I've gotten really good because I stick to it. How about your list growth? Can you imagine how much faster your email list would grow if you zeroed in on the kind of audience you want to serve and you knew exactly what you're going to sell them over and over again? Can you imagine how much better you'd get at Facebook ads and social media and partnerships and affiliates that came your way, media opportunities, your chance to build very specific funnels? Business gets easier when you stay horizontal. I promise you that. I know this to my core. In Digital Course Academy, I teach my students how to create one offer, one digital course, and launch it over and over and over again. I teach them how to price it and put together bonuses to make it really attractive. I teach them how to get better at their webinars. I teach them how to sell on social media so that as they continue to grow in their business, so does their revenue with one core offer. And I could tell you story after story after story of people creating one thing in their business and hitting that 6 figures or 7 figures as their goal, and they actually hit their goal. When you go horizontal, you stay horizontal longer. You don't have to stay there forever. You'll eventually add another course or maybe a membership, or maybe you have an idea for a physical product to go along with your digital course, so you add that. Of course, you're going to add to your business. But what I want you to know, if you walk away with nothing else here today, what I want you to know is that you could have one thing in your business that is your signature. It creates confidence to know you've got something that definitely works in your business that you could sell over and over and over again. My motto is do less in your business, but do it really well so that you can make more money and make a bigger impact. So I've talked a lot about digital courses, and that's something that over the next few weeks, I'm going to tell you more and more about what a digital course can do for your business, how to come up with a digital course topic, how to price your digital course, how to find your audience for your digital course. This is stuff that I'm going to talk about over the next few weeks. But first, we need to start out by figuring out your personal path to a profitable digital course, your personal path. So what might it look like if you were to create a digital course? Are you ready to create a digital course? Where are you in your journey for creating a course? Maybe you have more information to get started than you even think, but you don't know till you know. And so I created a very personalized, in-depth assessment. It's totally free. It takes 2 minutes to create, but I will tell you if you're ready to add a digital course to your business. And if you're not, I'll tell you what to do instead. And if you are, I'll tell you how to get started for free. So go to amyporterfield.com/quiz. I created an assessment to help you understand if you're even ready to create a digital course, and if you are, how to get started based on your own journey. So I'm going to ask you questions about your business and about where you're at in your entrepreneurial journey, and then I'll give you a personalized response of what to do now. And the reason I wanted to share this with you is because if I've piqued your interest just a little to stay horizontal, you're going to need a signature offer that can make you money over and over again. And that signature offer can definitely be a digital course. But I want to help you get started. This is where I excel. I don't do a lot of things right, but I do courses right. And I teach people how to create courses. So let's first, before we get into all the details about what a digital course can do for your business, let's just make sure that you know where you might start. So amyporterfield.com/quiz. This is going to take you to a page that literally takes you 2 minutes to fill out. And all from there, I don't even know. I just heard the weirdest noise. No idea what it was, but it was kind of fun. But all from there, show you how to get started. Okay, so what I want to do now is I want to answer some questions. And yes, Annie says, the quiz is free. Yes, it is free, totally free. And the responses are very thoughtful. My team and I spent weeks and weeks and weeks obsessing about this quiz to get it just right so that your response will feel very personalized to you in your entrepreneurial journey. So you have nothing to lose. Just go take the quiz, amyporterfield.com/quiz. And in the comments, my team is here. So let us know if you have any questions. Megan and Brittany and Sylvia, all part of my team. They're here to answer any questions you have. And thank you for posting the link here. There it is, amyporterfield.com/quiz. Okay. All right. So let's see here. Let me go back. Let me go to some of your questions that you have. Oh, here we go. So if you have questions, start typing them in right now, and I will be happy to answer those for you. Casey says, how do you decide which is your signature offer? Okay, this is such a great question. I'll talk a lot about this in the coming weeks as well, but here's a really perfect place to start. The way you figure out what your signature offer is first you want to ask yourself, how do you want to deliver? Well, first of all, what is the problem that you are seeing amongst your audience? What are they struggling with? Where do they need help? And typically when I ask someone that, they're like, oh, I know exactly. Like my audience struggles with XYZ. Great. Then you ask yourself, well, what is my solution to that? What is the solution? How can I help? Now, they might not have a problem, but they might have a desire. And so if it's different, if it's not a problem that you're solving, but it's a desire they want, then what's your solution to give them that desire, to help them fulfill it? Or if it's a challenge, what's your solution to help them solve it? So from there, when you get clear about the problem and the solution, then you want to ask yourself, well, how might I deliver that solution? Now, I'm biased, but I think a digital course is literally the most valuable asset you can create in your business that will not only help your audience get results, but will allow you more freedom. So actually, let's come back to that word freedom. I promised you that I was going to teach you how to have more freedom in your life. How does having a digital course and staying horizontal create more freedom? Well, it comes back to your time, your creativity, your ability to work when you want to work and where you want to work. When you have one thing that you just make better and better and better, you're not constantly reinventing the wheel. You're not constantly starting from scratch. When I work with Tony Robbins, one of the things that he taught me above all else is he says the death of an entrepreneur, or what slows down an entrepreneur considerably, is when that person keeps starting from scratch. When they're staring at a blank screen, when they're coming up with an idea, starting from the very beginning, not knowing what's going to go into it, how to get started, what they need to do, making lots of guesses, versus doing that once and then each time you're refining. Imagine if you're refining over and over again versus starting from scratch. Imagine how much faster you'll go, how much more efficient you are, how much better you'll be at teaching and marketing and selling. That's where the freedom comes in, because you're not trying to do too much, which means you're zapping your freedom, you're zapping your time, you're zapping the amount of money that you could potentially make. You will make more money if you were laser focused on one major thing that you did well over and over again versus doing a few things pretty good. That I know for sure. Okay, so let's see here. Let's keep looking at some of these questions. Let's see. Casey says, how can you relaunch an evergreen course over and over again? You don't actually relaunch an evergreen course. An evergreen course is something that you create and that you run all the time in your business. Like for example, you do a webinar, you pre-record it, and then you put together a funnel, and let's say you run ads to it, and at any time of the day, someone can click your ad, watch your webinar, and from your webinar, buy your course. This happens every day, every minute. That's why people say you can make money while you sleep. Well, Evergreen allows you to do that, which I teach my students how to do Evergreen and live launches in Digital Course Academy. And so you don't have to relaunch it. It's just happening all the time. Also, how do you dial in on what should be your signature offer when you already have multiple offers out there? Okay, so this is what happened to Joy, my student who launched multiple times and hit $1 million with one digital course. She had 6 digital courses, but she asked herself, where is the bulk of the revenue coming from? If you have multiple offers, what's the easiest to create? What do people gravitate toward the most? What's making you the most money? What are you best at? These questions are important to ask to zero in on that one course that maybe you have. Let's say Joy had 6 courses. She likely had to take a little bit from maybe each course, create one new course, and went all in on that. I'm not exactly sure if that's what she did, but that is a possibility. If you have multiple courses, how can you take some of it, ditch some of the content so you don't overwhelm people, but create one course that solves the major problem your audience is struggling with? So yeah, you have to kind of start weeding through what's going to make the biggest impact. Eli says, when are you launching Digital Course Academy? So we are launching September 21st. So a little over a month from now, September 21st. But here's something really cool. On August 23rd, I'm doing a 30-day boot camp, and it is wildly popular. I've done it. I did it last year, and it was one of the best things we've ever done. It's 30 days of free teaching on how to get started with a digital course. And in the boot camp, you're going to make 7 key decisions to help you actually get going right away with your digital course. So you don't have to wait till September 21st. You can get going. And then when I open the doors to Digital Course Academy, you're off to the races. So we'll be doing a boot camp. Pay attention. Make sure if you signed up for the quiz, you'll get an announcement when the boot camp opens up. So amyporterfield.com/quiz. Go sign up for the quiz, take the quiz, and when my free 30-day boot camp opens up, which is wildly popular, so much success stories have come out of that. When it opens up, you'll know because you signed up for the quiz, and I'll be sure to reach out to you. Katie says, how many times a year should the product be launched? Great question. Typically anywhere from once a quarter to maybe 3 times a year. So 3 to 4 times a year, you'll launch your digital course. Over the years, once you start getting really good at your launches and you start to think, well, maybe I'm ready to go a little bit vertical. Maybe I want to add 1 thing to the mix, maybe eventually 2 things. You might want to launch just 2 times a year because you have a little revenue coming in from other places. I have revenue coming in from other places, but at the end of the day, the bulk of my revenue comes from just one signature course. So don't think you're going to be stuck in a little box and only sell 1 thing for the rest of your life. I'm just starting you out on a good habit of going horizontal before you go vertical. Vertical comes a few years down the road. So you'll get there if you're not there yet. But this discipline changed everything for me. And I'm rare in my industry. I'm a leader in my industry. I generate great revenue with a very amazing profit margin. And I don't think a lot of people can say that. They could maybe say, I make a lot of money, but their profit margin usually isn't around 48%, which is what ours was in 2020. It was actually 48.8%. So almost 49% profit margin for a multi-million-dollar revenue. And the reason I can say that is because we've gotten really good at one thing. When you get really good at one thing, you spend less money to produce it. You spend less money to market it. You spend less money to create it because you spend a lot of money to get started in the beginning of your career, so you don't have to keep feeding money into it. So such a great way to look at it. Rob says, how do you price your course? So Rob, I have a formula for pricing my course that includes different tiers and different payment plans. And I teach that in the bootcamp. I can't possibly teach it in 1 minute here, but I do teach it in the bootcamp. So if you sign up for the quiz, I'll send you an invite for the bootcamp. It officially starts on the 23rd of August, and I'll teach you how to price your course if you get in that bootcamp. Okay. Rochelle says, when you first started, where did you get hung up and how did you work through that to continue moving forward? When I first started, I didn't know who my audience was. So I'll tell you all a quick story. My very first digital course was how to use social media to launch a book. That was my very first digital course, how to use social media to launch a book. I made a whopping $267. Now, I had actually made a little bit more than that, but when you take out expenses, $267. And the challenge with that, and I cried for days because I watched everybody else online making millions. I'm like, oh, I'm going to make so much money with this. I know what I'm doing. I didn't. I'm ready for this. Let's do it. I didn't have a course like Digital Course Academy. I created Digital Course Academy because it's literally the program I wish I had before I ever created or launched my first digital course. But I didn't have that, so I made it up as I went along. And the big fatal error was that I did not have success in that area. I'd never launched a book in my life. I had worked with authors, but I had never launched a book for them. And I was teaching people how to use social media to launch a book. So what I teach to my students now is you need a 10% edge. You need to be 10% ahead of those you serve before you start to teach them. Now, 10% isn't that far ahead, but they need to want to know what you know. They need to want to know the blueprint you followed, the model you followed, the steps you followed, or the steps you teach your clients to follow. So you usually want to get success for yourself or for your clients or for somebody else, and you know how you got that success, so you're at least 10% ahead of those you serve. That's what you want to do, which should take off some of the stress. You don't need to be the expert of all experts. You don't need to know everything about your topic, just enough to get them the results that you promised. Okay, so Sean says, how do you balance building the content for the course versus building out the mediums to deliver the course, like the tech tools and email sequences and streaming to multiple mediums? So Sean, in Digital Course Academy, what I teach is we actually come up with the concept of the course. You sell it before you create it to ensure you're going to make money. We don't want you to create anything that's not going to make you money. Once you make a little bit of money in a pre-launch, for like founding members, let's say you sell 10 units of your course, then you go and create it. So from there, and in between that, once you do a little mini launch and you make some money, you're going to, before you do that, you're going to flesh out the outline. You're going to get really clear on what you're going to offer, but you're not going to actually create the course. And then I skipped a step. Once you sell it, then you can start to put together your marketing. And once you fully launch it to a big audience, because you pre-sold it to make sure you validated it, then you market it to a big audience and you really launch it, and then you deliver it week by week. And each week you create a new module. So you're creating it as you're delivering it week by week. That way you can focus on the marketing first to make sure you make money with this. Then you can switch over to the creation. But you've already fully fleshed out your outline. You know exactly how you're going to teach it and what you're teaching. It's just the delivering it in a pre-recorded video or live video each week, whatever you want to do. This is stuff that I'll talk about in the boot camp for sure. So stay with me because I'll get into that a little bit more. But yeah, there is a sequence to follow for sure. Naima says, is one better than the other? Evergreen versus a live launch, like opening and closing your cart. I always say you always start with a live launch. This is paramount. This is so important. If you go to Evergreen, which it means that you pre-record everything and you put it out there, you'll never ever have the energy of a live launch. An energy of a live launch means it's in real time. There's a higher perceived value with the live launch versus Evergreen. In addition to that, you want as a marketer to become good at doing things live. Believe me, I know it's scary. I talk a lot about this in Digital Course Academy and how to get over the fear of going live. But when you're live, there's a higher perceived value. People are more likely to buy when it's live versus Evergreen. And also you can get the feedback from your audience so you can tweak things in the moment if need be. Evergreen, you can't change anything in the moment. It is what it is. So for sure, we always start with a live launch and then move into an Evergreen if that's the direction you want to make. Diane says, what if you're not making any money right now despite all your efforts? How do you decide what of your non-productive offers to focus on? So it might not be any of them. Well, you go back to where have you gotten results for yourself or for your audience, and then you do something called some course calls where you actually get on the phone. I have a podcast about this. If you Google Amy Porterfield and course calls, I have a podcast called Online Marketing Made Easy. I share a lot about audience building, list building, course creation, getting started as an entrepreneur, all this good stuff like today inside my podcast, Online Marketing Made Easy. Go check it out on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple, wherever you listen to podcasts. But if you Google Amy Porterfield and course calls, I did a podcast about how to actually get on a phone call with someone that would be your ideal audience and start asking them questions about what they need and what they want and where they're struggling so that you can figure out what offer to put together. Diane, it might be a little bit of something you've already done and a little bit of something new based on what you learn from what they need and want. Great question. Sarah says, I'm 5 weeks into my first ever 12-week course, and it then goes into a membership. However, I'm not sure whether to keep running the 12-week course or just focus on the membership. What would be your advice? Well, if you did well with your digital course, by all means, launch that. But here's the great thing. I have a digital course that goes into a membership if people choose to continue to work for me or work with me, because I stayed horizontal for many, many, many years. And just a few years ago, did I add a membership to the mix. But you have to go through my signature course first before you're ever invited into my monthly membership. So I love the idea, Sarah, of you continuing to launch your digital course and then inviting those who get through your digital course into your membership, or inviting those who bought your digital course after they're done, inviting them into the membership. Your membership will grow slower, but the digital course will make you consistent revenue, and you can enjoy those in your membership because they come in already knowing certain information that you want them to know. I love that model. Let's see here. China says, when starting from scratch, should we focus on building an audience on social or email first? For sure, you should have an email list. And I know this is something that takes time. And yes, you can sell your digital course using social media. And this is something that I teach to my students as well. But I'm always a big fan of growing your email list. So if this is something that you haven't started to do yet, it's something that you want to get going right away. You want to start growing your email list because your email list literally will be the most important asset to selling your digital course. It will make you the most money if you continue to grow it. So on my podcast, Online Marketing Made Easy, I have tons of different examples of podcast episodes to help you grow your email list. Claudia says, Amy, are you not nervous about first selling your course and then having the pressure week by week to deliver the content? What about when you're sick, for example? Okay, so Claudia, you're more like me, my sweet friend, meaning I don't like to necessarily wait to create it week by week, but I've been at this for many, many years. And the vast majority of my students, they want to first sell before they create it. That just feels good to them. They need to make money sooner than later. They want to get the ball rolling, and they don't want to create something that hasn't actually been validated. But for those that are a little bit more like me, who I like to plan ahead, I don't like to have to be on the hook week by week, you can by all means create your entire course before you sell it. It will take you longer. You do need to be patient, but even in Digital Course Academy, we talk about that is totally an option if that's the way you want to do it. So with my very first course, I sold it before I created it, but the courses after that I've created over the last 12 years, I've always finished them and then launched them. But I also do a lot of validating, which we talk about in Digital Course Academy, and we can talk about in the free bootcamp that opens up as well. So the free bootcamp opens up on August 23rd. Take the quiz, and you'll get information about when the bootcamp opens up as well. Iotope says, how do I help my audience see they need a need for my course when they feel it doesn't really matter? My niche is church and social media. So if you have a topic that you know people need to learn or know, but they don't feel as though it matters, you have to figure out what matters to them. And when you figure out to the core, what do they really care about, what really matters, then this is a little tricky, but very doable. You find a way to link or align what you're teaching with what they care about. If you're very convicted, like I know they need it, like I get why you're saying churches need social media. I am 100% behind you. But a lot of people that are running the churches are so busy, their focus is somewhere else. Typically, some of them are even older, so like social media wasn't something that they were taught early on. So it might even feel foreign to them. Not all of them, but some of them. And so you need to do your research, but really find a way to link what matters to them the most with what you're teaching, and how what you're teaching will help them with that thing that matters most to them. Social media doesn't matter to them, but does it matter to them that they're seeing declining numbers, people in seats every Sunday morning? Does that matter to them? Does it matter to them that they're not getting more of the youth into their churches, knowing that as people get older, they need to make sure they have their community, growing their community, and they're not growing their community anymore with the people that are younger? Does that matter to them? Figure out their pain points and tie in your product to those pain points. That's how you do it. Naima says, is there a good course length? How long are our customers likely to stay with us? We expanded from 8 weeks to 6 months of content. So typically, I think anywhere from 4 to 12 weeks is a really good course, depending on how deep you want to go with your course. This is all the stuff I talk in the upcoming free bootcamp, so I'm excited about these questions. But typically, a 6-month course feels more like a certification course or some kind of deep immersion course. I'd rather you stay away from 6 months, but instead anywhere from 4 weeks to 12 weeks. And then from there, maybe you do a VIP experience. Maybe you take them to the next experience after that. Maybe it becomes a membership. But yeah, that's where I'd like to, that's a sweet spot for the courses. Okay, my friends, so we did it. We got to the end. amyporterfield.com/quiz. Do not do anything but go there right now. It takes 2 minutes, free quiz. Find out your personal path to creating a profitable digital course. Your personal path. Are you ready for a digital course? Where might it fit into your journey? What do you do to get started? All those answers all those questions are answered in my quiz. We spent months and months figuring out the perfect way to deliver this quiz for you. It is very, very spot on. We've had great success with our students in the past. It's free. amyporterfield.com/quiz. When you take the quiz, you will then, when we open up the doors to my free 30-day bootcamp all about how to get started with the digital course, you'll be invited first. So go take the quiz. I'll see you there. And thank you so much for being here with me today. I can't wait to see you next week. Same time, same place. Bye for now.